Okay. Welcome everyone. I'm just gonna switch on the lights, otherwise you guys can't see me. Hope you are all well, and welcome to this first stream where we actually play a game. Which I think I understand the irony of all of this, where I'm basically doing a bunch of Twitch streams, but I'm actually not playing games. But yeah, this will be the first of many.
More to the left? No, a little bit.
Oh, thank you so much, Kaiser7, for the subscription of 3 months. Congratulations, Kaiser. You now have a bronze plaque with Hugo's desk. So you should be very proud of that. Not a lot of people have that. Only the people that have been here for 3 months. Maybe a few, maybe a little bit less light there. Could the chat let me know if you can listen to me well, if you can hear me all well? I hope you do. So hope you can hear me. Let me know if it's all good with the sound. So yeah, like I said, Kaiser7, thank you so much for the subscription for 3 months. Really appreciate the support, and really appreciate you guys actually going and supporting me like this. Anyway, today we have a special session. Like I said, this will not be a workshop. So for those of you that thought this was going to be a workshop, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Today we're not going to basically open nuke. We are basically going to play a game while I do some Q&A and some answers. That's going to be my plan. From now on, I'm going to do 2 streams a week. One of the streams will be a Q&A session while I'll play some video games. Most likely we're gonna establish that Monday will be the day for that. I know today is Tuesday, but yesterday was a bank holiday. My plan is that it would be every Monday. So every Monday we would do a gaming session with some kind of Q&A, questions and answers about visual effects and showreels. And then on Thursdays we would have the regular stream that you've seen already, which is basically workshop. And so that means oh, thank you so much, Predator221. I like your name, Predator. Thank you so much for the follow. So one thing that you should know is that, of course, on Thursday we will continue our nuke compositing tutorial. So that means that on Thursday you can join into the BBC God Only Knows composite that we've been doing together. So, yeah, so that's pretty much what we're doing here. So, yeah, that's right, Lenny. It's comp and fun. That's the idea. We're here to have some fun and also to have some comp as well. So I'm all ready for the stream. I basically brought my T-shirt. Look, today I have a Cafe 5 to 2. This is the actual cafe shop that shows up on the Silent Hill 1 game. Now, for you guys don't know, this is my favorite game. We're going to be playing this game here. We're going to be playing Silent Hill 1 for the PlayStation 1. For those of you that haven't played this game, this is one of the best games, one of the best horror games ever made. It spawned a huge franchise, which now is really well known. Of course, the best game of the franchise for me is Silent Hill 2. I have both versions. I have the European version and I have the Japanese version. I like the fact that the Japanese version doesn't really say much. It just has like a wall with blood that actually doesn't happen in the game at all. And then, of course, the European version hardly understand what's going on as well. So we're going to be playing the European version. I'm not playing this game, by the way, for those of you that might ask this. I'm not playing this on the original hardware. I'm playing it on PlayStation 3. As you know, the PlayStation 3 can play PS1 games. The reason I'm not playing on the original hardware, although I have a PS1, is because unfortunately Silent Hill changes resolution. So on the main game, it's like 400 pixels by 300 or something like that. And then on the menu, it's 720. So because it keeps jumping in resolution, you know, this is a bit of an educational part of this stream, I guess. So because it keeps changing resolution, it breaks the capture card. So I haven't fought that out yet. I need to like figure out a way of fixing that on the next stream. So for the moment, we're going to be playing Silent Hill 1 from the original disc. So we're actually playing the original disc. As you can see, the disc is not inside here. It's no, sorry, I have 2 discs. No, this is Metal Gear Solid. You see, I put the wrong disc on the wrong case. That's Metal Gear Solid. That's not the disc we're playing today. So the Silent Hill disc is not here because I've booted up into the PlayStation 3. You should know that the PlayStation 3 can play any PS1 game, which is cool because it really saved my ass today because I couldn't get the original PlayStation 1 to work. But anyway, let's just get on with this. Like I always say on every stream I have, if you want to support my channel and see more workshops and more gaming streams, feel free to subscribe to my Twitch stream. If you subscribe, you should know that if you have Amazon Prime, it's completely free for you to subscribe, which means you can just give the subscription to Hugo's Desk. It really, really means a lot to me. It helps my channel immensely, and it's free for you if you have Amazon Prime. The other thing you should also know is that every month, when the month is over, you need to resubscribe if you're using Amazon Prime. That means every time a month is over, you need to resubscribe if you're using Prime. Otherwise, the subscription goes away. You have to manually subscribe every month. Don't forget that. It would really help my channel. And the benefit of subscribing is that you can watch the replays of all my streams. At the moment, we've done 3 workshops so far. We have one workshop, which was the Assassin's Creed, which was 14 hours long. We also have a 10-hour workshop with the crew, and now we're currently doing a BBC God Only Knows workshop. But I'm going to shut up about that, and we're going to just jump in directly into the game itself. So basically, I'm assuming you can hear the game. I hope so. I hope you can hear the game. Please let me know if you think it's too loud. If you think the game's audio is too loud, I can lower the game. I'm also going to switch the lights off because, of course, obviously, this is a horror game. I shouldn't be too bright. I feel like I should kind of like be a bit more muted down in terms of light. So let me know if you can still hear me. And also let me know if you think the sound is good in terms of the sound. The sound you can hear right now is basically the maximum volume that really the Silent Hill game is going to have. So hope it works. Well, yeah, I can play all my PS1 games on every PlayStation except PlayStation 4. So unfortunately on the PlayStation 4 I can't play this game, because PlayStation 4 doesn't support PlayStation 1 games. So the only way for you to actually put the disc in is to use a PlayStation 2 or to use a PlayStation 3 as well. But anyway, let's just... but yeah, a float, 32-bit float. You're asking, I need to catch up on the crew. Oh, sorry, I did a mistake here. I didn't want it to like start that right away. Let me just start the game again. So 32-bit float to ask, I need to catch up on the crew shot streams as watched only the first 2 now. Yeah, like I said, you're already a subscriber, so if you're a subscriber, you can kind of like basically see all the replays anyway. So you think the game is too loud? Okay, I'll lower the game sound. It's not a problem. I thought it was too loud as well, so I'm gonna just lower it. So I'll lower it by like 5 decibels or something, and I think I've lowered it now, so hopefully you let me know if it's too loud or if it's okay, okay? Don't forget that this game has violent and disturbing images in the game. Don't forget. So if you're sensitive, you might not want to watch this game. Look at this beautiful logo from Konami. That's when Konami still did good things. It's a shame that Konami is kind of gone. It's a shame that they don't really do good games anymore. I hope they come back. So Mark, let me know if the sound is now too high or if it's good. Can you still hear me? And also, I've lowered the sound. Do you think the sound is too high? Like, you guys let me know. You guys are in control of the stream, so you need to let me know if you think the sound is too high. Let me know. What do you think? I'm kind of just babbling away because I want you to judge the sound of the game while I'm talking. So, okay, now it's nice. Okay, fantastic. So, if you guys feel like it's too loud, just keep letting me know, okay? So, obviously, I'm basically gonna continue here. So, I'm gonna basically press save. So, let's just go to the options here because I want to kind of like change a few things. So, first of all, brightness level, because I feel like it's a bit too dark. So, I'm gonna just basically increase the brightness just a little bit. Thank you so much, Zadium Dalham, for the follow. Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna leave everything as it is. The language I'm gonna leave in English. I don't think they have a Japanese version. They don't. They only have English. So I'm gonna leave it in English, and let's go with this. And I'm gonna start the game now. Obviously, because don't obviously, because I'm doing the stream and I'm actually answering questions of visual effects, it's a bit hard to play the game in hard or normal. So I'm going to play the game in easy. I hope you guys don't take that in comfort. I've finished this game at least 5 times already, but I just feel like I can't play it in hard or in normal if I'm going to be answering your questions. So I'll just make it a bit easier for myself. So let's just watch the fabulous intro, which, by the way, this intro... If you guys haven't played this game yet, this game is an astonishing piece of gaming for the time. But obviously, this was actually done in CG in the late 90s. And obviously, animation is pretty shit. Also, rigging is pretty shit. And the polygon count is horrible. Just look at that. Like, it's probably... I can probably count the polygons. It's probably like 20 polygons or 30 polygons, which is ridiculous. But anyway, let's start the stream by going for the sessions. Obviously, on Silent Hill, you start on this strange city, which is really foggy. The funny thing about this, if you don't know a lot about this, the development of this game, is the fact because of the limitations of the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation 1 had a very limited amount of polygons that it could have on screen. So what happened was that because they could only have a certain amount of polygons on screen, they had to limit that by using fog. And that's why you see the fog here. You see the fog kind of cuts off after a while, and it was actually necessary to play the game. So the fog became really atmospheric because the game becomes so much more scary because of the fog. But in a way, the fog was necessary to cut the geometry not being built up. You know, when you have these really old games, you can actually see the geometry building up. So the fog and the dithering really helped in that sense. And it's funny to look at it now because it looks incredibly bad, you know, with the dithering and the fog. But back then, when I played this game for the first time, and this game came out in 96 or 97, I think. I have the cover here. I can go and just check really quickly. This was a game that came out on 99. Back then, when I played this game for the first time, I was blown away by how fantastic this game looked. Obviously, now when you look at it, it looks really bad. But yeah, that's right, Mark. GTA San Andreas used exactly the same fog technique. It was used in a lot of games back then. Also, like, you saw what Lenny was talking about, motion blur. That's also another thing that they used to use. They used to use frame blending to fake motion blur. But anyway, I'm going to go after Cheryl here and see if I can get her. I don't think I can get her anyway. Hi, George. Nice to see you again. So I'm going to just go and see if I can follow Cheryl. It's funny how this was one of the first horror games in 3D in the world. And it's funny how the fog made it much more scary because you couldn't see what was ahead. It made it much more atmospheric. And the fact that I think the fog is like a staple of Silent Hill. Every single Silent Hill game, every single film of Silent Hill is just foggy as hell. The dithering also helped, which is these little dots that you see on the screen right now. And the other thing is also that helped is this kind of particle system with the snow. The particle system with the snow really kind of made it more three-dimensional because you kind of feel like you're in an actual 3D environment instead. And the funny thing is that although I have like a controller here, I have the second stick, you can't rotate the camera. That's the funny thing about it, is the camera is locked. And this is kind of a relic of our time because this is what we call the tank control, where basically the camera is predefined by the makers of the video game. So you can't really like move the camera at all. But I'm gonna run here because I'm an idiot. I'm just gonna go to a place where it actually says beware of the dog. Also, it's so pixelated that you almost can't see it. It's your favorite one, the one where you're locked in an hotel room. Well, oh yeah, that's Silent Hill 4. That's an amazing game. I really love that game. Silent Hill 4 is one of my favorite Silent Hills, but it's hard for me to say which one I like it. I like so many of them. I love Silent Hill 1, love Silent Hill 2, also like, oh Jesus, that's a messy mess. And see, the funny thing with this game is the economy of pixels. You see how many pixels are on screen, and just the blood patterns. It's just insane how they could actually make the game scary just with a few blood spatters in the wall. And also the other thing as well is the camera work. Just look at this. This is amazing, like the camera work of having a top perspective. It was really, really nerve-breaking as well. And especially this. Look at this. This camera move is just stunning. I'm going to do it again because I fucking love this. I just don't think games do this anymore, you know, where you basically have a cinematic feeling with a camera move. You can literally feel that they really studied this beginning, because this is one of the most scary parts of the game. Then you're in the top view as well. Not to mention the music. The music is just amazing. I've met the music composer. He's called Akira. Oh, I can't remember his last name now, right at the top of my head. He's called Akira something. I'm gonna look it up because it's silly that I don't say his name correctly. Let me just do that. So, yeah, let's just see here. Sorry. Yeah, Akira Yamaoka. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna just post it. So I met him in a concert, actually. You should just definitely check out his music. He does really good music. And in fact, recently, he actually launched a CD. And this CD is really good. So I'm going to put the CD here as well for you guys to have a look. Because this new album that he's made is really, really good. It's not with his name. It has another name. I'm going to just like put it up here. Sorry guys, I know I'm going out of it. And by the way, remember, this is a stream for Q&A and showreel stuff. So please feel free to ask me questions, you know. That's the whole point of this stream. So I want you guys to kind of like ask me questions so that we can kind of like get going. I'm just going to put the name of the CD that I'm talking about. So this CD is really good. It's from the same composer, from the same exact composer. I'm just going to put it on iTunes here for you guys to see. So if I put... let's see here. Yeah, there you go. If I put this screen here, you guys can see it. And this is what I'm basically showing you. So this is the name of the album. It's called Enmo Takanawa, I guess. Beautiful album, this CD. I bought it recently. I have it physically CD as well. So this is the latest album from the same composer of Silent Hill. So basically, the composer of Silent Hill is called Akira Yamaoka, I guess. I guess that would be how we pronounce his name. He's done most of the soundtracks of Silent Hill, and they're really, really good, the soundtracks of Silent Hill. Especially Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3. They have a stunning soundtrack. So if you guys like this kind of music, you should definitely... I know you can't hear it that much right now, but you should definitely check it out. So I'm gonna just continue here. I have a question though from 32-bit float point. I love your name, 32-bit float point, and I'm gonna answer your question as soon as I get into this alleyway. I mean, as soon as I get to this alleyway, something is gonna happen. So let's just get through it, and then I can answer the question. Oh, that's strange. It's getting darker. Look at that. It's getting darker. Oh, good. Better nothing. I guess he has a flashlight. Why wouldn't he not have a match or something? I mean, who has a match on their... Just look at this. This is so beautiful, this kind of like work. You need to understand this is running on a PlayStation 1. PlayStation 1 had literally only thousands of pixels. Could only do thousands of vertices. It's really, really impressive. And also, it's one of the first games ever to have interactive lighting as well. Well, this doesn't sound good. Just look at the detail of some flies floating around. The music is getting up as well. Just look at this music. It's just beautiful. So, 32-bit Float is asking, hi Hugo. I know you work mostly from home with your remote freelancers. Can you tell me a little about your pipeline process? How do you organize your project? What project management tool do you use? How do you review your artist shots? How do you make sure that everyone on your team is on the same page? Any insights on those parts would be very valuable. Yes, Mark, it is ray tracing. Well, it is I guess it is ray tracing, but it's really not. It's amazing. Just look at those flies, man. I wish I could zoom in because those are beautiful flies. Well, anyway, to answer your question for the bit Float, this is of course a long discussion, and let's start the Q&A with that, really. So basically, I use a software. I'm gonna just change to desktop and gaming here, so I'll have both of them on the screen. So for me to use remote, I use this thing. So I use this software here, which is called FTrack. I love this soundtrack. It's just beautiful. So I use this application. So FTrack is a way for you to track your. It's like Shotgun. Do you know what Shotgun is for the bit float? So FTrack is kind of like Shotgun. It's basically a management tool for creative work. I'll put the link on the description here. So I use this because this allows me to track all my projects. So I'll show you, for example, this as an example. So if I go to FTrack here, let's see here. So do I still have FTrack here? Just a second. It's been a while since I logged into FTrack, so I need to kind of like... Oh yeah, here you go. So if I log into FTrack, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Yeah, so for it to bit float, FTrack is the competition to Shotgun. I know it's wonderful for us to be talking about FTrack with this lovely soundtrack. Just listen to it, it's beautiful. It has like a siren at the same time and the beat. It's amazing. I love this soundtrack. So you see, this is FTrack, and basically what you do here is, I'm just gonna close this, by the way. You see, I have my project. So these are all the projects that I've done on FTrack so far. So you see, you have my E-Valkyrie, my Ghost Recon, Just Cause 4, Oak Lake, Rivals. You know, I have the crew. I have a bunch of projects I did here. I'm going to go into the last project I did on FTrack, which was the Vermintide project. And in here, you see, I have all the shots here. So I have, at the moment, you see shot 10, 20, 30, 30. And when I go to each shot, you see I have different parts. I'm going to actually do one thing here. I'm going to pause the game for a second because the sound is driving me nuts. So basically, you see I have all my shots here. And on each shot, I have a type of task, you know, map mating, rotoscoping, compositing. So this is basically a way for you to have a planner for your team. So for example, if I go to shot 10, I can open shot 10. You see in here in shot 10, I, for example, have some frames that my team, you see I have some notes that people made. For example, if I have some feedback or something, I'm going to put it in full screen for you guys to see it. So you see, you can kind of like see the notes of how it's going. You can also see all the conversation I had with all my freelancers. That means, like, for example, here, I'm making notes to my freelancers and I'm making a note. Okay, I'm going to tell them, okay, you need to fix this. For example, I go to this frame, you see here, fix this edge here. So I make like notes for everyone on my team to kind of like work on it. And then people on my team, for example, Bjorn here is working on my team and he's basically making a list of things need to do. And so this was a project, we used 3 people on this project. So it was just a conversation between 3 people. And then of course we had a matte painter as well. Except for shot 60 where we had a CG artist. And then of course on that shot, we had a lot more things. So we used FTrack for tracking all the feedback and tracking all the feedback as well. And also to plan the calendar. So it doesn't work anymore because of course obviously all of the calendar events are gone, but you can see we have all of our team members on the project, and then we would fill in the calendar with, like, you know, vacations or free time that they might have or things like that. In the meantime, the other thing that this thing has, which is cool, is that the ability for you to actually watch the dailies. You know, so for example, if I go to this project here and I go to client reviews, you see, these are all the times I sent stuff to clients. So I'm going to go to the last one here. So I'm actually going to go to the first one. So you see, on the first one, I have some client reviews. So this was how I communicated with my clients. So if I open the session, which I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work. No, it's not, because it's a bit old. I'm going to just like put this up here. I just need to change the dates because, of course, so much time has passed that this is actually gone now. I'm going to have to put it on... Yeah, like that. I think now it's going to open up. So see, when you open a shot like this, you see the client would basically get this. You know, the client would get this link. It would say, okay, matte paintings created by Hugo. This was a year ago, of course. This was the first concept. So then the client could go in, and I'm just going to put this in full screen so you guys can see. So the client then would go in and they would join the session. And then the client would look at these matte paintings and say, okay, well, I don't like that one, or I like this one, or I like this one, or I like this one. There's no comments on this one because the client didn't make any comments on this specific time. But you can see, you know, on the side here, I can leave comments. The client could leave comments. I can leave comments. And including the client can also draw on top, and they can make things. You know, they can tell me, okay, I don't like that, or I like this, or I want more of this. And then they can attach this to the comment, you know. So if they attach it to the comment, then this frame becomes part of the comment. So, for example, if I put blah, 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 this would be my comment. I would post it, and now you see my comment, which was called blah, 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 has an actual frame that they can read. So this is kind of how I communicated with my clients. And then all these notes that you see here were trickled on through the pipeline. So then that means the pipeline then would use these notes as well. Everything that would be written here would show up on the pipeline. So that means if some notes would show up here, it doesn't happen anymore, but it then would go to this shot here, and then if you go to the comments, they would show up here as client comments. So then you can kind of continue those comments away. So that's one way that I've been working remotely. I hope that answered your question for FreeBitFloat. So that's kind of like one way. The other way that I've been working remotely is to, of course, have a lot of conversations on Skype. We use Skype all the time. We talk every day. We have dailies. It's very important for you to talk a lot with your team. You need to talk to them every day. I do have a few YouTube videos that I talk about these things. For example, not recently, but if you, for example, look at this video for FreeBitFloat, if you go to my YouTube channel, I'm just going to go to my YouTube channel real quick here. I understand that I'm not playing Silent Hill, sorry about that. But like I said, this was going to be a Q&A anyway, so Silent Hill was just an excuse. So if I go to my channel here, if you go to my keynotes, for example, let's see here. So if you go, for example, to this one here, that would be that one. You should check out this keynote that I made here, and I talk a bit about my pipeline here. I'll put the link on the description here, so I'm just gonna have to wait for this idiot to go away. And so this is a keynote I did at FMX. I'm gonna just like copy it. So for FreeBitFloat, maybe just have a look at this keynote, because I explain a bit more how we use FTrack, and I also, oh sorry, that's the wrong link. Let me just copy this and then go back here and paste it. Yeah, there you go. So if you watch that video, it kind of shares the light of how I usually work. Hopefully that was beneficial. What do you think for the FreeBitFloat? Did that help you for the FreeBitFloat? Was that easier for you? So let's get back to Silent Hill, and don't forget, don't be shy. You can ask more questions. This is a Q&A session, don't forget. We're only playing Silent Hill because it's just an excuse for me to play Silent Hill, because it's my favorite game. But if you guys have more questions, if you guys have more stuff that you want to ask, feel free to ask more. So now, not only we have an amazing particle system of flies here, but we even have rain in the floor. You guys need to remember, this is 1999. This game is 20 years old. Like, how amazing is that at 20 years old they actually managed to do this? So I'm gonna, of course, like an idiot, because, you know, any person on their good mind, if they would see blood in the floor, they would just keep going, right? Like, that's exactly what they do. So just like an idiot, I'm gonna continue going forward here, because I love blood, and I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. I mean, honestly, there's blood everywhere, even on the wall. Why is this guy even walking around? There's even more blood now. Oh yeah, let's just continue on, because, you know, the music is now worse. Oh, besides blood, there's even like pieces of bodies. Yeah, let's just keep going, because, oh, of course, there's a body and everything. Jesus Christ.
What is this?
What is this?
What's going on here?
What is going on? This is the funny thing about the 90s. The music is so good, man. Oh, shit. What happened there? Oh, I was talking to you guys and I died, I guess. Was just killed. Sorry about that. So the music is just amazing. This composer, you guys need to listen to him. Like, his music, I can't say enough about how good this dude is, man. He's amazing. So please check him out and listen to his music. Yes, the Night King won, yes. So, you saw the amazing voice acting? Man, games on the 90s had the worst voice acting in the world. It's just terrible.
How do you feel?
How do you feel?
Oh, like I've been run over by a truck.
It's like Resident Evil cringe. So, come on, don't be shy, ask some questions. Remember, this is a Q&A session. You've been awfully quiet.
Tell me what happened.
You're not really asking anything. Remember, this is a Q&A session. You can ask me about visual effects. You can ask me about show reels. You can ask me about the mill. Ask me about Fire.Smoke, any project that I've worked on before. Ask me about visual effects in general, pipeline, anything you can think of. Let's just get on with it. Uh-huh.
Have you seen a little girl?
Have you seen a
Just
little
turned
girl?
7 last month. Short, black hair. My daughter.
Yes, it is very similar to the Blade Runner. Yeah, you're right.
The only person I've seen in this town is you.
Where is everybody?
I love the antilization.
I'd tell you if I knew, believe me.
Could you share, so Lenny is asking, could you shed some light on types of work contract in VFX?
That's all I know.
And also Freddy Bit Float is asking, if anyone played the original Resident Evil on PlayStation 1, you remember the awesome intro cinematic with real live action and actors? Yes. That intro for Resident Evil 1 is
Harry Mason.
horrible. Horrible. It's one of the worst
Sybil Bennett.
intros ever.
I'm a police
And
officer from Browns.
yeah,
Next
well,
town.
I'll load it up in a second because it's just terrible. So, offshot first. Thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate for the follow. So, Lenny, could you explain a bit more your question? So you're asking me, could you shed some light on types of work contracts in VFX?
Hold it.
So what are you asking about? Are you asking me what type of contracts would you be expecting? Like what, freelancer, full-time contract?
No way.
Is that what you mean? Could you explain a bit more what you're trying to ask? And I would be
In
happy
that
to
case,
answer
I
your
need
question.
To find her now. Cheryl's my little girl.
Cheryl's my little girl.
I can't just leave her out there by herself.
I can't just leave her out there by herself. I'm
You got
really
done.
bad actor. It's just horrible. He's such a bad actor. Okay, that's it. Okay, so Lenny, while we have the amazing acting in the background, I can try to explain to you a bit. And I'll go to the question of N0D4I very soon. So answering you, Lenny, basically you have types of contracts that would be, obviously, if you work in big studios, if you work in London, for example, or if you work, it would be pretty much a freelancer contract. So you would usually you start as a freelancer, you know, and on a freelancer, you might be working maybe a month. You know, I'm gonna write it here so you guys see. Maybe a contract, maybe it's a freelance contract of a month, maybe it's 2 months, depending on the job. You know, a lot of times companies test you out for a month or two to see if they, you know, to see if you're good, to see if they like your way of working, and you kind of could expect that as a freelancer. You know, so basically it would be a contract where you don't earn any benefits. You know, basically. You would have no retirement. It would just be, you would be paid by the day, you know, like basically, at least in London, that's how it works. You get paid by the day with the day rate, and you work on your contract. Now, so that would be a freelance contract. You can also have something called the 0 hours contract. And the 0 hours contract is a bit different. This is something that happens in London a lot. And this means that they don't really tell you how many hours you're going to work. So basically you sign this contract and they can put you working for 5 hours or 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day. And then, you know, maybe you work on Monday and Tuesday, and then on Thursday they don't have any work, so they tell you not to come in. And then on Friday they have work for you. So it's called a 0 hour contract because they just call you as they need you. So basically, if they have work Monday, Tuesday, they will get you there. If they don't have any work on Wednesday, they won't pick you up and you wouldn't come in. So that's kind of how it works. So those are the two types of works. The guy is getting a bit twitchy there, as you see. So then apart from that, you have what we call in the industry a permalancer. So it's called permalancer. And the funny thing, this is of course is a made-up word. This word doesn't exist, of course. A permalancer is someone, at least at the mill and at Frame Store, at the MPC, at DNEG, a lot of people work like this. And it's basically people that, come into the company and they work for a month and then they get prolonged on their contract and they keep going and they keep going and they keep going. And effectively, sometimes they could be on the company for 2 or 3 years and they just have a rolling contract. The contract just keeps going, like the contract was 3 months, but then there was a rolling contract for another month, and then a rolling contract for another month, and then a rolling contract for another month. So that's why it's called a permalancer. Now, depending on your negotiation skills, you might be able to have benefits with a permalancer contract. Maybe you can get discounts for your retirement. Maybe you can even have a gym subscription. Maybe you can even have, extras like discounts on shops. And I'll give you an example. If you sign up with ILM, you get discounts on the Disney store, and you get free tickets to Disneyland, for example, in Paris, and you get a bunch of perks from Disney. So there's a lot of things that, depending on the company. For example, the mill used to give us a gym subscription for free, and they would give you certain people would have free parking to park the car outside. There's other companies that give you subscriptions to companies, discounts on the shops. A lot of times also, if you work on a company, you can get discounts on the shops around the company. So for example, if you go to a coffee shop, you would have half price. If you go to a supermarket, you can have a discount because of that company. So those kind of things happen a lot. So that's what a permalancer is. I hope, Linny, I'm answering your question. I hope so. Hope it's working out for you, this answer. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm hoping it's working for you. So then, apart from that, of course, obviously, after that you have the full-time staff. So the full-time contract, which would be basically you would be hired for a contract of a year, or maybe 2 years, or maybe 3 years, or maybe without a date that would end, and that's of course a full contract. You would be paid per year, you would be paid per month, usually they ask you how much you want per year, and then it's split per month. And those would be a full contract. That means you have benefits, you have retirement, you have all the benefits of that country, so you would be paid overtime, you would have vacation time, you would be paid vacation as well. So full-time contract would be like the full the full thing, the full beans, with everything involved, including a lot of times when you do a full-time contract, you also are forced to have a non-disclosure agreement. So that means sometimes if you leave the company, you might not be able to work in a competing company. So you just have to be careful. I hope that answered your question. But one thing you should know, and this is for everyone on this chat, if you are anywhere near doing a contract, you should really, really focus on getting a lawyer. You should always look at the contract. The lawyer should always look at the contract first, okay? And Lenny is asking follow-up question. Just one more thing. If you're a freelancer, do you have to establish a company or your name in your name, or it has nothing to do with it? So, Lenny, that's a good question. So when I started, I just basically started earning. I didn't open a company. I was working as a self-employed. So basically that means you're self-employed. You basically give them an invoice and you can discount yourself. So you're self-employed. That's what the name is, self-employment. Now, at some point, if you start to work for a lot of companies, you might want to consider opening a company, because then you have advantages in taxes by having a company. But I would not recommend you opening a company right away. I would recommend you to start as a self-employed, and then if you start having a lot of work, then maybe open a company. Because the advantages of company, for example, give an example. In London, if you're self-employed, you might be paying 30% tax on your salary. But if you have a company, you might be paying 20% tax. But don't forget that on a company, what would happen is the money goes to the company, and then the company pays you a salary. So you would still have to pay tax on the salary from your own company. And this would have to be negotiated with the company itself. Like some companies don't allow you to have a company. Some companies allow it. So it really depends on the type of company you sign up to. I hope that was helpful. Hope I'd helped. Let me know, Linny, if I answered your question. Anyway, going back to the question from N0D4I, do you think it's better for a student to start in a small studio or a big studio? So this question comes up a lot, and I'm gonna keep playing because otherwise we're never gonna get anywhere on this game. So I'm basically just gonna get into the room here. I'm gonna get basically an health drink. I don't want to take it, no. No, sorry, I don't. I want to take it. And I'm going to take the map as well, the flashlight, and the map of Silent Hill. Look at this beautiful thing. Oh, there's a crop box happening on the corner there. I need to check what's happening there. Yes, I'm taking it. It seems complicated if you move a lot. Yeah, it is. It is really complicated if you move a lot. But obviously, if you work in different countries, usually it's very easy for you to become self-employed on that company. If you get hired, like imagine if you're in France and you get hired by Canada, usually you would be full-time. So that means you would start paying you would start paying taxes in Canada. But if you work in London, because it's part of the European Union, you could choose to pay taxes in France if you want to, or you can pay taxes in UK. So inside of European Union, it's quite easy. Obviously, it's always better for you to pay taxes in the country where you work. But you can choose not to do that. Effectively, in Europe, you're not allowed to pay taxes in 2 different countries. So that's kind of something you need to keep in mind. So I hope that answered your question. Regarding the small studios and big studios questions, I'm going to save the game, by the way, because someday someone might experience these bizarre events. Hopefully, they will find my notes useful. So I'm going to just create a new file here. This is back in the day where people had to save the game. So I'm going to do a new save here. And I've been playing for 25 minutes. Can't believe that's true. So basically, to respond to the question from the big studios and the small studios, I think it really depends on what type of artist you are. So if you like to work in a film company, you might want to consider working in a big studio. Like if you really want to work in film. And if you are someone that likes to work in a specific type of pipeline, like imagine if you just want to really focus in modeling, or if you just really want to focus in compositing, or if you just really want to only focus in, for example, rigging or just effects, then you definitely should work in a big company. If you want to focus as a generalist, meaning that you want to do a lot of different things, then you should work in a small company. I think it really has to do with the type of artist you are. If you want to have more creative control, you should work on a small company. But keep in mind that a small company will have less work, because they will have, not less work, the work won't be as amazing as the work that you would have on a film company. If you don't mind not having creative control, then you should work on a film company. Keep in mind that a film company, you will have no creative control whatsoever. They will basically tell you what to do, your supervisor will tell you what to do, and you will never be able to input into the shot. So, because most film companies are working as a factory. So, basically there's 100 shots, there's 300 people working, and you just work as a factory. There's no time for creative work. Now, if you work on a small studio, you might have a lot of creative input because you're a generalist. So, I personally prefer to work in a small company, especially after working on a big one like the mill, because you lose control. You lose a lot of creative control because you're working in a big company. Anyway, I'm going to try to leave. And okay, so the radio is on. That's not good.
What's that?
What's that?
Huh. Radio. What's going on with that radio?
Who the hell talks like this? He just said, huh, radio. What's going on with that radio? It's such a bad acting. It's a shame. Okay, here's some action. So now I need to basically get my knife in, and I'm gonna just kill this guy. Well, the music could be a bit stronger, so I'm gonna equip my knife, and I'm gonna just let it rip. So let's just come on! Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh, don't do this to me! Come on! Jesus Christ! Why can't you die? This game is so hard to control. God damn it! Just die already. Look, I died. I shouldn't be answering questions while I'm working in the game. I'll load the game anyway. Let me just go through the questions. So, let me just load the game again. So, like you guys said, I'm lost on the questions here. Then after, I hope that answered your questions. I'm getting a bit behind on this. So I hope I've answered your question. Where is it? Where is he? N0D4D. I'm just going to continue here. So I hope I've answered your question about small studios and big studios. So basically, then let's go in here. So George is saying, if a leader or a supervisor is using the word wrong to almost every feedback to all the team, how would you deal with this? After a bit, he is affecting the team, especially when you hear wrong for something that could be done in many different ways, but you just didn't do it the way the leader wanted, without having any guide through from the beginning. So, George, it seems to me like you have a pretty bad supervisor. If someone is just saying it's wrong, but they don't really offer up any type of suggestion, then I would say that that supervisor is not really a good supervisor. Because when you are a supervisor, you kind of have to be, just going to equip the fucking gun, and then we're done. Because the knife is too slow for doing this. So back to you, George. If your supervisor is saying everything is wrong and they don't really suggest anything, you need to be patient, because that means he's a bit of a douche, and you just have to be a bit, maybe try to calmly ask him, but what's wrong with it, and what exactly do you want from me? You just have to face him and ask him that, because if he thinks everything is wrong, he needs to give you some kind of suggestions. Otherwise, there's no point, So basically, FruityBit Float actually answers for that. So Sajels has asked, what are generic salaries going on around in UK for VFX supervisor? Are you talking about? Well, first of all, Sajels, it's not easy for you to become a staff visual effects supervisor. Very hard. Very rarely you are actually staff. A lot of times you are freelancing. If you're staff in a company, then you might... Sorry, let me rephrase this. Are you asking me, Chazelles, about VFX supervisor inside the company, or are you talking about on-set supervisor? Because it's a bit different. Which ones are you talking about? And in the meantime, I'm going to just, kill this fucker.
What's that?
What's that? It's the radio.
Radio.
What's going on with the radio?
Radio.
So, Chazelles, maybe you can tell me what you meant with that. Both? Okay. If you're talking about both, let me just kill this guy first, and then we can... fuck's sake. Just gonna run. These controls are so bad. Okay, so you just die. Fucking die. How is this possible that I can't kill this motherfucker? Okay, he's dead now.
What's happening to this place?
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so basically, Chazelles, to answer your question about... you guys have a lot of questions. To answer your questions about VFX supervision, basically, it depends. If you are working on a daily rate, you can probably be looking at, as an on-set supervisor, you might be looking at maybe £500 a day if you're not very experienced. If you're really experienced, you might be looking at maybe 1,000 a day. So you know, anything between those things. So basically on set soup, I would say maybe, you know, I guess a good price would be maybe like $650 a day or $750 a day, something like that. This is pounds, of course. And this is a freelance on-set supervisor. If you're working in a company as a VFX soup, then it's a different thing because usually you're paid per year. So, you know, you could probably be like as a in-house supervisor, again, depending on the experience, supervisor, depending on the experience, because of course it really depends on the experience, and also it depends on how much you can negotiate. You might be getting maybe anything from 75K a year to 100K a year, maybe even 125K a year, maybe even more. I mean, it depends on how much you negotiate. Obviously, if you, for example, if you think about getting 100K a year, if you divide that per month, that's like £8,000 per month. Like, that's a bit high, I think. I guess maybe 75 for a supervisor would probably be what I would say. Like, because if it's like 75 a year, so if it's like 75K a year for a supervisor, then that is around 6K a month, 6K a month, you know, so that would be 6K. Remember, I'm always talking about pounds, okay? So I don't really know anything. It's very stressful. It's very nice money. Yeah, it is. You can get really a lot of money when you're working on set or even working as a supervisor, but it's really stressful. Yeah, it's super stressful. I mean, come on, you guys are... but yeah, for the bit float, remember, to answer you for the bit float, depends on how you negotiate. I would say the 100K probably is more likely, but if you go to a small company, maybe you'll get 75. I mean, depends on really how good you are negotiating. You can probably get more. Also depends on your experience. I mean, I've seen people charging £2,000 a day, so it depends, you know, on your how famous you are, how good you are, how reliable you are. You know, it's kind of difficult. I feel like there's a lot of things here that I've didn't answer. So let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, with all the questions coming in, there's no way you will be able to play Sekiro. Well, you'll be surprised. Maybe I'll get used to it. Sekiro is fucking awesome, by the way. But actually, I'm actually playing another game now. Not Sekiro, but I'll talk about that game in a second. So let's see here. Other questions that I might have here. Yes, that's 30-bit float has a really good point here. Toxic environments really destroy you, so definitely take care of yourself first. That's really, really... so George is saying 2 girls were crying from his attitude. Yeah, so George, if your supervisor is making people cry, he's an asshole. I'm sorry, man. Like, obviously, if he's making people crying in a studio, he's a fucking prick, and he should not go anywhere. If that's happening, maybe consider talking with the boss of the company and really shame him a bit, because he shouldn't be doing that. So Offshot First is saying, with a lot of prep work moving out of India, what's the best way of breaking into the industry in London? What skill example do you like to see prioritized on Reels? So Offshot First, I would say that you still really want to make sure you have good roto and paint skills, because even though it's going off of London, you still need to be good at rotoscoping. Because if you're not good at rotoscoping and not good at painting, you will not get a job. But these days, studios are really looking for having people that would know everything. That means they want people to know roto, people that know comp, people that know green screen, people that know rotoscoping. That's the whole point these days, is that they want people that are overhaul compositors so they can do every task. Because although work is leaving London and going to India, you still have to do a lot of roto, because not everything will go to India. Sometimes India might be too busy. Sometimes, you know, like, it might be that there's no budget to go to India. So there's a lot of reasons for you to still want to have a lot of roto and paint on your showreel. But definitely you want to make sure you have enough work to show yourself as a real compositor. That means you have every type of work, green screen, roto, paint, everything. I feel like I'm really not catching up on this chat. I'm sorry, I'm trying my best. But you guys are having so many questions, and we only have 20 people online. But there's so many questions, which is fantastic. I'm really enjoying this. It's really cool. Let's just go back a bit here. But before I continue answering questions, we've been online for an hour now. So like I say to a lot of people, it's break time. So we need to do a little break because I am trying to run a responsible stream. So let's do a little short break. Remember how this goes? It's only going to be for like 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue with the gaming session and the Q&A very shortly. So I hope to see you very soon. I'll be back in about 3 minutes, okay? I'll see you very soon. Okay, so I'm back. I think I've covered all the questions. Just to add one thing that Sajal said here, I think Sajal has a point. I think everyone should at least once in their lifetime go to a big company, because going to a big company at least once in your career really builds your character. It builds your it builds your quality threshold, because you become better artists, you meet better artists as well. And also, very importantly, you learn a pipeline, you learn how people work, you learn how to deal with clients, how to deal with the team, you learn how to deal with producers. And in fact, I think working in a big company really allows you to understand the entire pipeline of everyone's job. And that's super important, So I really think that, yeah, exactly. 32-bit float has a point. Big studio will make your skin thicker. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. 32-bit float. Because I was at the mill for 6 years, I can do anything at the moment. Like I feel like I've experienced everything, and I've experienced all type of jobs. I've experienced all type of clients. There's nothing that I can think of that will be difficult at this stage. Because I feel like I have seen everything. And I've dealt with the worst clients, I've dealt with your worst artists, I've dealt with everything bad. So I think you should always try to go to a big studio first. Or at least once in your career. Even you start on small ones, maybe try to go to a big one at some point. So I think that's important for you to always, at least once in your career, to work in a big studio. But having said that, I much prefer the creativity that you get from a small studio. So anyway, I was just gonna let you guys know I'm playing this game. This game is amazing. Look at this. Have you guys played this game? A Plague's Tale? This game is fucking awesome. I really like this game. So if you guys ever want to experience a really nasty game set on the Black Plague, really good. And the other thing as well I wanted to let you know is the CD I was talking about is this one. So this is the CD from the creator of Silent Hill soundtrack. And in fact, I need to show you this because I need to show you. This is the Silent Hill box. So this is every soundtrack of every Silent Hill game in one single CD box. So basically I open this up and has all the CDs of every single Silent Hill. I know it's very reflective, you can't really see it. But this is from Silent Hill 1, which is what we're playing today. Really recommend you to check this out. You can find these on iTunes, and you can also, of course, buy them physically. I bought this one on eBay because it's out of stock, so you have to kind of buy them. But it has every single Silent Hill. I don't know if you can read them, but it has every single Silent Hill there. It's really nice. I'm sorry there. You can't get these things. But yeah, if you guys want to play a good game, play this game. This game is really good. Anyway, going back to the chat here, because the guy has been waiting here for a while. So basically, Sajals is saying, let's see here. I worked on Prime Formux in early days. Some things with Hugo and 30-bit Float are saying, yeah, absolutely. So Studio 10 has a compositing question. like what to do when you have a natural lens flare when compositing something CG on it. So I would say Studio 10. It depends on the shot, but a lot of times if you have a natural flare on the shot, then you have to recreate the missing parts. That means you can either try to extract the flare, or you try to cut the flare and put other parts of the flare on top of the CG. So extracting the flare might not be possible. If extracting the flare is not possible, you might need to build the flare from scratch and then add that flare by using the other flare as a reference, add it on top of the CG. Hope that answered your question. Anyway, E has been here waiting for a while about Cheryl, so I'm gonna... Where could Cheryl have gone? Now, don't forget, I can see a lot of people on the chat here that are not subs yet. Don't forget that if any of you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to my channel for free. That would really, really help my channel. It would really support Hugo's Desk and allow me to do more workshops like I've been doing on Twitch. So consider, if you have Amazon Prime, consider subscribing to my channel for free. If you don't have Amazon Prime, you can always subscribe to my channel as well. It's not very expensive, and it allows you to play back all the old streams that I've done. And don't forget that you can watch all my streams, and of course you can support my channel, have some nice emotes and everything, and of course I would always thank you from the bottom of my heart if you do that. So let's continue here, because the guy has been waiting for a while. So I'm gonna venture into the... So basically, he's telling me for me to go to Finney Street, where Cheryl should be. I'm gonna see if I can find her. Now, first of all, I'm gonna like get rid of my gun here because I'm gonna save my gun. Now, as you can see, I am on the red. I need to kind of like get a health. I'm gonna get some health here, so I'm on the green. I'm also gonna get the knife as well. I'm gonna equip the knife. Now, I could... Radio is on, by the way, so that I can hear the monsters coming. Flashlight, I don't need it yet because I'm, of course, outside. Let's see here. Fruity Bit Float says, key out the flare and put it on back. Well, sometimes Fruity Bit Float is not possible to key the flare. If you can't key the flare, you might have to build it. So, obviously, your reply would be if you have a flare that is on a green screen. If your flare is not on a green screen, you won't be able to key it. So if you can't key it, you might have to build it, recreate it from scratch, for sure. So I have to go up here, so I'm gonna go up there to Cheryl. Now, I'm not gonna kill anyone because I don't want to die, so I'm gonna just keep going. Now, this is amazing. Man, this really reminds me of this game. I used to play this game so much when I was younger. This was 20 years ago, man. I was 20 years old. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm 40 years old. I'm 40 years old. So I'm probably one of the oldest people on this, on Twitch, probably. I'm probably the oldest person on Twitch. I hope I'm not the oldest man on Twitch. At least I shouldn't, but let's see. Did I miss the... Oh, yeah, sorry, I missed the turn. Yeah, Sean, I love this game as well. You were 17? Okay, so you're younger than me. I was 20 when I played the first time Silent Hill. It's a fucking amazing game. All of them are. I wish I could play 2 as well on the streams. I hope, though. Let's see here. So I'm gonna go that way. Yes. Let's see here. So I need to, like, turn here. And then let's turn here. I can hear the radio, but I'm just gonna ignore it. Let's see here. Oh, look, he's tired. Why is he tired? Okay, so I'm gonna have to go in here to the corner. It should be here. Just follow along here. So young at the time, yes. So keep the questions going, guys. Really enjoying this Q&A session. It's been wonderful. I knew this. What? Wait, no. I'm gonna ignore all of these people because don't want to waste any ammo. Wow, the sound is broken. I noticed the sound on the PlayStation 3 is a bit broken. That's why I wanted to use the original PlayStation 1, but I haven't found a way to sync yet. Because the problem with that is that because of the changes of resolutions, when, you know, like if I go to the menu, for example, the resolution is 720p, but if I go to the game, the resolution is 480. And so the resolution changes, it breaks my capture card. So I need to find a way, how am I going to actually run on the PS1 for real? Let's see here. VG Dominic, I guess that's your name. VG Dominic. I would try to apply for big companies. I have a reel, but I don't know if it's good to apply because I can't compare myself with competent people, or their platforms, or don't know where to create a comparison. Will be able to talk about it. So, hey, you're welcome to send me your show reel, I guess. I mean, I have on my Patreon, I have a tier where I review show reels for people. I have never heard of platforms of people sharing show reels. Never heard of that. I think, unfortunately, if you put it on YouTube, you'll just get really random comments. I think definitely we should do a session about show reels soon. Maybe you should, but yeah, keep in mind, if you want to have my feedback on the show reel, you can always go to my Patreon, and I will be gladly to give you some feedback. A lot of people have done that before, and you know, I can kind of like go through the show reel and help you a bit, and see how that goes. So for the bit float. So what about bidding? Yeah, sorry, for the bit float, I forgot about that. So what about bidding? Do you bid on a project yourself, or do you have a producer? It depends on the project. So a lot of times I bid on the project myself. A lot of times I do it directly from my company. By the way, look at this idiot. I'm actually going to the same exact place where I died before. Now, why would you ever do that? In reality, if you think about real life, you just been on a hallway, you just went to it, it's bloody, you were killed there, and then you woke up on a coffee shop. Why would you return to the same exact place? Because you're an idiot. That's probably why. And because you want to die again. So, asking you about this bidding. So, for example, when I bid directly to the job, of course, I'm bidding directly as my company. But a lot of times when you answer if there was a producer, that's, for example, when I work with Fire.Smoke, that's what happens. Like, Fire.Smoke is bidding, and I'm actually working with Fire.Smoke as a director or a supervisor or as a visual effects artist. So it really depends on the project, and depends really. Yeah. Hope that answered your question. And I'm going to go in here as an idiot again. See what happens. Oh, wait a minute. What is that? There's something really wrong with the sound. The sound is really lagging for some weird reason. I need to check if it's on my side here. Just a second, guys. Because the sound is super laggy for some reason. I think there might be something going on here wrong. Just need to like check what it could be. But there's definitely something wrong on my side. So tell me something. Do you hear the sound lagging, or do you hear the sound correct for Silent Hill? I hope you hear the sound correctly. You let me know if you can hear the sound correctly. Yes, some gun bullets, it would be nice. Okay, so there's a drawing here. Let's pick it up. That's Cheryl's drawing, I guess. Okay, to school.
Isn't this Cheryl's sketchbook?
Isn't this Cheryl's sketchbook? So, Anonymous, thank you so much for the follow. I guess you want to be anonymous, so... so I shouldn't talk about you. Okay, sound is good? Okay, cool. I think it's my side. Okay, so they want me to go to the Cheryl school. Why not, I guess? Because I'm a fucking idiot, so I'm gonna go to the school. I do want the steel pipe. I wish I had the steel pipe when I had to kill that dude. I'm gonna just equip this because it's so much easier to just have that instead. Because look at that, now I'm really powerful. Yeah, look at that. Look at that animation, huh? Look at how good that animation is. I guess we were very far away from motion capture. So, hope that answered your question for the bit float. So, other questions here. Let's see here. Someone asked me one time a special showreel stream, if I remember. Okay, sorry. Go to Vimeo. Yes, balls of steel. Hence, return to the hallway and some brain. Yeah, I guess he has brain damage. That's probably why he's just like a bit silly now. You can check local Facebook groups. Yeah, that's fine. And I guess he's hitting himself. Yes, it is. Let's just see if we can keep going, because I don't think I can keep going. No, I can't. Okay, because of course video games, you know. Obviously you can clearly go through there, but because this is a video game, you can't. And that's video games logic for you folks. Let's just get rid of those dogs outside. Maybe let's do that, because hey, because I really love dogs, so I always feel really bad by killing any animal anywhere. So I might not kill them because they haven't done anything to me. So why should I kill them? I'll just have to rush out as quick as I can without them killing me. Come on. I don't want to kill them. I love dogs. Even these dogs I love. I'm not going to kill them. And I guess if I run fast enough, they won't catch me. There you go. They haven't catch me yet. Let's look at that. Beautiful. Let's have a look at where we have to go. So, okay. So we need to. Oh, damn. We need to go to a lot. It's really far away. So okay. Let's see. I can't remember anymore because it's been such a long time since I played this game. I'm gonna try going this way and see what happens. What about the headless monkey in Sekiro? Yes. I didn't like killing him. No, I'm sorry for the bit float. I don't like killing animals. Ah, shit. I was distracted with chat. Obviously, I know sometimes we have to kill animals on games, but I really hate doing that. Oh, leave me alone! Obviously, sometimes you have to, but I really don't like killing animals on games. I feel like, I guess I have to kill this guy. I'm gonna kill it. There you go. Where is he? Is he gone? Look at how good this animation is. I'm just sliding and sliding and sliding. This is just ridiculous. I can also go sideways, because why not? It's almost like I'm breakdancing a bit, and then I can rotate a bit, and I can just like... Yeah, look at that! Woohoo! I'm sliding and sliding. So while I'm sliding over here, anyone has any questions? Are you vegetarian or vegan by any chance? Yes, Sir Giles, I'm a vegetarian, and I hate hurting animals. And that's why I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian because I don't like to kill animals. And so because of that, I can't kill animals. I feel bad when I kill animals on games. I really don't have to. Like, I only do it if I really have to. Like, if the story has to continue because of that. Give an example. On this game, there's a time in this game on Pledge Tale where an animal dies. I'm not gonna spoil the game for you, but there's a time where an animal dies, and then of course you can't really do anything about it, and you have to just keep going. But I've actually stopped playing game. There's been games where at some point they tell me to kill an animal. Like for example on Tomb Raider, there's a part on the beginning of the game that you have to kill an animal, and I really don't feel comfortable. Sometimes I even leave the game alone and I don't play the game anymore. I just can't do it, you know. Anyway, any more questions? Come on, feel free to ask me more questions. Don't be shy. Otherwise, I'll just be playing and playing and playing, and I will forget that you guys are here. So, look at this car. It's literally a box. It has less polygons than an Amiga game. Jesus Christ, that's insane. That's so cool. I love that game. I don't think there's a lot of games where you need to kill real animals. I don't count the zombies in fantasy is fine. Present us your cat. Well, my cat is not here, man. Sorry, George. My cat is actually not in the room. I would have to go and pick him up downstairs. So João Bayou is asking, what is the What is really important? What is really important? A power showreel or a good interview? What is my opinion? So I would say that it's more important. Unfortunately, that's my opinion. Unfortunately, it's more important to have a showreel in the industry. Because, look at that. Fucking hell, what the fuck happened here? It's more important to have a showreel because the showreel is the first contact you have with the person, you know? So that means the showreel will kind of help you to set foot inside the company. So the showreel is the first thing. And then the interview is second. Because without having a good showreel, they would never call you to an interview. So that's kind of how you want to kind of like consider this. If you don't have a good showreel, they would never call you to an interview. Having said that, I think an interview is super important because if you're not good on an interview, if you don't prove that you're good at working with teams, if you don't prove that you are working good, if you don't know what you're talking about, then they might consider not hiring you as well. So I know it's a catch-22 because on one hand, you have to have a good showreel. On the other hand, you want to be good on an interview. But really think about the fact that if you don't have a showreel, you would never be called to an interview as well. So, Sajels is saying, never played Silent Hill, but I see how smartly they clipped draw calls by having in fog. Yes, that's absolutely. So, Sajels, in fact, the only reason why the game has fog is because the PlayStation 1 could not handle so many polygons. So because the PlayStation 1 actually could handle less polygons than the Sega Saturn, because the Sega Saturn could actually handle a lot more. Oh, this is a really good camera angle. That's awesome. I love this game. I really love this game. So because the Sega Saturn could actually handle more polygons, they used fog in purpose. And it's funny because they've added the fog, and the fog became the selling point of Silent Hill. Like without the fog, it's nothing. If you, for example, look at Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 2 is mostly about the fog, but by then, the PlayStation 2 could definitely render all the environments, but they still put the fog anyway because the fog was so important for the look of this game, you know. So, Sean is asking, what is the best kind of shots to show off on a showreel for a junior compositor? So, if you want to be a junior compositor, it depends on what you're trying to apply to. So, Sean, if you and yes, you're right, they took out the fog on Silent Hill 2 Remaster. This is why I don't play the remaster. I played the original Silent Hill 2 game. I don't play the remaster at all. So going back to your question, Sean, depends on what you want to apply to. So if you want to apply to a film company, you want to make sure you have a lot of green screen keying. You want to make sure you have a lot of rotoscoping and paint shots. If you're applying to a commercials company, then you might want to consider having generalist stuff, like a couple of CG shots, a couple of paint shots, a couple of keying shots, and a couple of motion graphic shots. So it's very important for you to think about that. Maybe consider having two showreels. One showreel for a film company, one showreel for a commercials company. In fact, this is actually true. Like last week, I'm part of the board of the Norwich School, and we had a meeting last week, and actually Framestore and DNEG and ILM was on the meeting as well, and they've asked for the same. You know, they'd like to know that people have, they want people to apply with the correct showreel. So if you're applying as a film compositor, you need to make sure you have green screens, rotos, and paint on your showreel. If you're applying as a generalist compositor to a commercial place like The Mill or Prime Focus, or sorry, not Prime Focus, MPC commercials or Framestore commercials, then you want to make sure you have generalist work. That means you might have a little bit of motion graphics, a little bit of CG compositing, all those kind of things. So that's kind of my take on that. Mark is asking, how long must the showreel be for a junior? I think it's difficult for you to answer, Mark, how many shots it should have. You should never, ever have a showreel with more than 2 minutes. That's just the fact of life. If it's more than 2 minutes, no one is going to hear it. And in fact, Mark, I should tell you, when I was at the mill running the nuke department, I would get hundreds of showreels every day. And we sometimes would not even listen to the whole showreel. As soon as we see that the showreel is like, as soon as we saw the showreel was like 3 minutes, we would not even bother because it would be so long. And especially also, don't forget that if it has a lot of obnoxious music, we would just switch off the music. So all those things are really important for you to understand that the showreel should not be more than 2 minutes long. It's just a fact, you know. Think about 1.5 minutes max. That's what I would do. So, 30-bit float, I think for juniors important to show good prep and roto skills. Yes, absolutely. Many juniors try fancy add CG and explosions, but they look poor and amateur. That's absolutely right for the bit float. You want to make sure you do prep work, paint work, roto work, paint, like cleanup work, anything of removing rigs, anything of removing rotoscoping, anything of doing good keying. That's what you want to do. You know, you don't want to lose time with doing shitty CG composites. It's pointless, you know. So Sejal says, great show reel, active on CG forums like ArtStation, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. Make friends with artists in the company you want to join. Be active on those forums. Once they like your work, then themselves will recommend you. Yeah, Sejal is absolutely right. I couldn't have said it better, Sejals. So everyone that is watching this stream, you should read the chat because a lot of good tips going on the chat as well. So keep the chat open and always read what's going on in the chat because there's a lot of really nice, and including there's quite a lot of people on the chat that actually are from the industry. So you could get quite a lot of tips from them, you know. So don't forget that. So, where were we? We were trying to find this bloody school. So, I'm gonna see... Okay, so I can't go up. I can't go down. I guess I have to go... I could try to go up. See if I can go to Liverpool Street and see if I can go that way. I'll be honest, I am a bit lost because I'm chatting and chatting away. I haven't really looked into where I should go. So you just have to kind of bear with me. This is going to be a long playthrough. It's going to take a while. But this is the street that I was supposed to go anyway. Lively Street. So I guess if I go through here... I haven't really stopped to look at the scenery because there might be hidden things. But let's see here. Other questions. João is asking, to a composer showreel is good to have particles and color correction or just focus on green screen? Yeah, so João, ignore particles and color correction because you're not going to do those things as a junior composer. What you want to focus on is prep, green screen, rotoscoping, cleanup. Those are the things you want to focus. You don't want to focus on particle systems. Do not focus on CG compositing. Do not focus on CG on color correction. Those things do not count because the people are hiring you as a junior. They don't need you to do particles because they would have a particle system specialist. They don't need you to do color correction because they would have a colorist at the company. So keep those things in mind, okay? So Shajalza says, on that note, Hugo's Desk, are you looking for an awesome CG journalist soup with down-to-earth attitude? Shajalza, at the moment, I am not looking for anyone. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so what are the questions we have? So, Shi Haimping is asking, hi, Master. I have a job search problem. I'm a composer. If you are a big company that wants to make a movie, depending on your experience, what do you think a good composer reel and a good CV? What should I pay attention to during the... I guess you didn't finish your sentence there. But like I said before, I think you should focus your attention in prep work. I mean, removing rigs, removing tracking markers, removing lighting stands, cleanup work, rotoscoping work, green screen work. All those things should be your focus if you want to work in a film company. Because if you're a film company, if you are a film composer, you're going to mostly be handling green screens, rotopaint, prep, and then later on, when you become a senior, then you work in CG compositing. A lot of people think they work on CG compositing right away. That is not true. CG compositing only shows up later when you're a mid-compositor, a mid-level compositor, or when you are actually a senior compositor. Well, what the fuck happened here? I think we're all agreeing that this is not looking good to anyone involved. I'm just gonna see if I can find anything that I can pick up here. So I guess I can't go through here either. So that was a waste of time. So I need to again, I guess then I need to go back then. So I probably have to go all the way back. Let's see here. I'm just not paying attention to the game. So that means I probably have to go all the way back there. Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. So, Float for Little Bit Float is asking, for people who are looking for work, do a proper cover letter. That's very important too. Yes, a cover letter is super important because the cover letter, remember, will be actually usually on the body of your email. So that means that it will be one of the first things that anyone is going to read about you. So it's incredibly important that you make sure it's a good cover letter. You need to kind of like mention the company maybe a little bit and mention why you want to work there. You have to make sure you have a personal touch on your cover letter. That means the cover letter has to mention why you think you should work on that company. What kind of films did you enjoy watching from that company? If you have a passion for the films that they've made on that company, maybe refer to that. It's always good to have a personal touch on the cover letter. Don't forget that. It's funny. What do you mean, like real broncha? Ah, damn. Real broncha. You say I get dizzy when rotoscoping. What do you mean about that? What do you mean you get dizzy? Like, do you actually get physically dizzy when you do rotoscoping? That's not good. Ah, god damn it! It's not this way. Sorry. I'm not just laughing. Oh, come on, come over here! Ah! Come over here, I'm gonna fucking destroy you now. Ah! Come here, I'm just like, oh, why am I losing time with this? Ah! Never mind this, man. I'm never gonna kill him. I need the gun. I don't want to spend any bullets on him. So, this was a dead end as well, so I can't go through there. I can't go through here. I think I have to go to Madison Street and go through there. Shit. I think I'm probably about to die. Yes, I am. This is just silly. Let me just look at this. So it was the... Oh, yeah, of course, I have to go to the doghouse. That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. So, doghouse in Levely Street. So that means I have to go to... Doghouse in Levin Street. So, Doghouse in Levin Street. I was already there. That was stupid. I should have went there. Anyway, I'm going to just go back to the questions here. You guys are having so many questions. So, Sean is saying, okay, so I have a Paint and Roto show reel, which I had my Framestore work, but it's all Roto and some paint shots. It's not really a compositing reel. Should I create a personal reel mixed with some of my industry shots, or keep them separate and have a personal reel with green screen and paint prep shots with compositing? So, Sean, that's a bit tricky. It's always tricky to have Framestore work together with personal work, because the personal work will really bring down the overall quality of your show reel. You want to make sure that everything you have on your show reel is perfect, which means everything has to be top-notch. So if you don't have shots that look really, really good, I would recommend you to remove them. So this is a tricky one, man. I don't really know what to say to you. I think if you have Framestore work, I would keep that work only. And then just go back to Framestore and try to get in more work, you know? Because once you become a professional, you really don't want to mix amateur stuff in your professional reel. Now, responding to real bronchas, you hate rotoscoping. You're going to have a hard time being a compositor if you hate rotoscoping. So you have to kind of like be a bit careful with that, because you might need to do rotoscoping anyway. So keep that in mind, that rotoscoping is part of this business. You can't really do anything about it. It's just part of life, I guess. For the bit float is saying, IE in this game is pretty good. Those birds are giving you some hard time. Yes, they are. Man, this game is amazing. I can tell you, like, this game is really high quality. I think it's really well made. Okay, so no, that's not good. Let's just not go this way. I'm gonna go and get the doghouse. I forgot about the doghouse. So I should, because I've been chatting and I've completely forgot about the doghouse. So the doghouse would have been here, I think. I think it's on this street. So it would have been, let's see here, Lovely Street. So that would have been up, yeah, it would have been up there. So the doghouse is here somewhere. I just need to find it. So it's, I can't remember on which side of the street it is. But one of these houses has a doghouse. And I need to find it. Let's see here. Let's see, did I, am I green again? Yeah, I am. So, see, this game is hard, by the way. Because you guys don't remember, because you're all very young. Games used to be really hard because, of course, when someone bought the game, they would be working on a game for, they would be playing the game for years, you know, like months and months and months, because games were so expensive. So, you know, when I was young, I would buy maybe 2 games or 3 games a year because I didn't have a lot of money. So that's why games were so hard, so that they could keep, people could keep playing them, you know. So. Yeah, real Brockens, that's right. Repetitive process and you need to practice. Be precise. Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. So, Rohan Santos is saying, what would you choose to present on a show reel? Many average shots from a real work done by you in the past, or a few nicer shots done from personal projects? I would say that you should always prioritize real work. Because if it's real work, that means the company that is watching your show reel can check that company out. Always prioritize real work. Because you see, here's the conundrum that I want to like make sure you guys understand. If you have really good work on your show reel, it's like, if it's personal work, how long did that work take? You know, imagine if you have a personal shot and it took you 6 months to do that shot. In reality, the shot looks amazing, but it took you 6 months to do. And now, the company hiring you is never going to give you 6 months to do a shot. They're going to give you a few weeks, or maybe a month to do a shot. So that means that they will prefer to watch how you work in a professional environment. So that means the real shots, or the barometers of how good you are. Because that real shot, even if it's not really good, it maybe you just had a week to do it. And so that's going to give the company an impression of how good you are under pressure, and also how good you are with the deadline and a time frame. I hope you understand what I mean, you know? Do you understand what I mean? I hope so. So George, may I suggest you guys to check a movie on Netflix that I've worked last year. The movie is called And Had Hun. I did a lot of keying in environmental comp and leader did CG compositing of an animal. Okay, I'm definitely going to check this movie out, George. Thank you so much for letting me know. Further Bit Float says, you might hate Roto, but it's essential. You have to deal with it. Yes, if you absolutely right, Further Bit Float. If you don't like Roto, then you should consider changing your work, because you should maybe consider changing your line of work, because rotoscoping is absolutely necessary. There's no way you can go around it. You just have to do it. There's no other way. I'm sorry to be bearer of bad news. Anyway, let's go back and see if we can find this doghouse. So the doghouse should be on one of the sides of the streets. I just need to find which street. It's either on this side of the street or it's on the other side of the street. I just can't remember if it's the left or the right. So it's not on this one. So I'm going to just go to the other side of the street and see if it's on the other side of the street. So, is it here? No, it's not here. So, come on. Where's the doggy? Doggy, doggy. Where's the doghouse? Okay. Ah, here he comes again. Oh, here's the dog. But I have to, of course... Ah! Ah, fuck's sake. It's so hard to control this game. You see, I had no choice. I had to kill that dog. I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. I'm gonna die. That's probably what's gonna happen. Come on, die! Die! No! I'm gonna die. Okay, here we go. So I had no choice, guys. I'm sorry about that. I had to kill the dog. There's no way I could survive that, but I feel I'm using a lot of health. Oh, there's another one? Oh, that's great. Where is it? Is there another one? I don't see it. Okay. Are they not dead? He should be. Ah, he wasn't dead. Okay. Jesus, now I really feel bad. I just stepped on a dog. Okay, so where it's inside. Why the hell would I put my hand on this thing? Jesus Christ. Anyway, going back to the questions here. Let's see here. Real Broncons says, when you hire a composer, I want to see the bad work also. I can judge how much person progressed over time. Not hiring people what he is now, but what he will be. Well, you say that, Real Bronx says, but I'm sorry, but if you have bad work on your show reel, you're never gonna get hired. Like, that's the problem. Like, if you have bad work on the show reel, they might skip your show reel. You have to really be careful with that. Maybe it's better for you to have different show reels from like an older show reel and a new show reel. Maybe that's something you should keep in mind. So let's see here what other questions you guys have here. Let's see here. George says rotoscoping is a technique that was invented 100 years ago. Yeah, it's true. It's really important. Poor doggy. Sorry, Boris. I had to kill the dog. I had no other chance. Sajels, I have personally... Okay, this is just you guys chatting. So, before we keep going with questions, I'm just going to go and do another break. Remember, I'm trying to do a responsible stream. So, I'm going to do another break. So, I want you guys to remember, you should definitely stretch your legs. You should definitely make sure you drink some water. Always make sure you don't sit for too long. It really damages your spine and damages your legs and blood flow. So let's just do a really short break. And don't go anywhere. I'll be right back in about 3 minutes, okay? I'll see you guys very soon. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. Okay, so I'm back to the stream. So there's a couple of questions here. So I'm gonna just like, I'm gonna actually accept this key first because then we can get a move on. And I'm gonna go into the house. So now that I have the key, I can actually go into the house, and I use the house key and I can come in. So now that I'm inside the house, it's a lot easier. So now I can answer your question. So first of all, going back to the conversation going on here. So Sean is saying, I'm not sure what to do since because my reel might be professional, but it's just photo in paint. It's not green screen or compositing backgrounds. I'm applying to smaller mid companies, and I think because it's not good green screen work, they might not be accepting my reel for comp, even though it's a professional reel. Maybe I can keep my professional paint and roto reel for applying to prep positions and prepare a comp reel just for compositing jobs. So yeah, Sean, I definitely think you should have 2 show reels, for sure. Unfortunately, a small company or mid-level company won't want roto and prep, because if it's a small company, they won't have prep. They won't do prep. They'll just give you the shot and you can do whatever you want, and you need to do everything to the shot. So it's very important for you to understand that you have to have green screen, compositing, everything on that show reel that you're applying to the mid-level company. Now, if you're applying to a big company, a big film company, then you can revert back to your paint and roto reel. Have that in mind, okay? So, George, you need to tell me what's the name of your supervisor, since I know a lot of people that work at Platige. You need to tell me what's his name, see if I know him, you know? Because I do know a lot of people from Platige. 30-bit Float says, And for it to bit float, by the way, like I said before, you guys should always keep an eye on the chat. I have the chat on the screen. Really read the chat, because 30-bit float has been giving a lot of good advice. Thank you so much for all the advice you've been giving us, 30-bit float. I couldn't agree more with everyone that is with everything that 30-bit float has said. Definitely 3 or 4 good shots with proper breakdowns is always better than 10 low quality crap shots. I couldn't say it better. It's really important. So George, I don't know Alan Uran, but you know, I thought maybe I could knew him, but there is a lot of people working at Platige, of course. But I was just checking if I knew him. So MS Starks TV says, what is your preference on fire explosions? What I mean is, I do effects, and I always kind of struggle when handling over a flat or contrasted image. Of course, unless they specifically ask for one or the other, I guess what is your preference? So, I'm guessing, are you talking about actual effects of actually shooting footage? Are you talking about doing effects on Houdini? Which one are you talking about? I'm just curious. Because if you're talking about real plates, then it's a different conversation. Are you actually talking about Houdini explosions? Is that what you mean? So maybe you can answer me that. MS Tark TV. Let me know what you think about that. So, oh, CG. Okay, so if you're talking about CG, if you're having issues with handing over flat or contrasted image, you shouldn't really, because if you have an explosion or fire, it should actually be lit by the lighting setup. So what you want to do is you want to bring in the lighting setup into your scene in Houdini and make sure your explosions is lit by the same lights of the CG, of the rest of the CG of the scene. So for example, if the CG scene is lit by an HDR, then you should use the same HDR. If it's lit by 5 lights, you should bring in the 5 lights. And so your explosion should meet the same exact lighting conditions as the CG. Regarding handing over flat or contrasted, it should not matter if you lit this shot correctly, and if you output the shot in linear color space in EXR, as long as the light direction is correct, it doesn't matter if it's flat or contrasted, because you can always recover the information even if it's too flat or too contrasted. In fact, if you use a linear ACES color pipeline, then you even have more range, then this becomes less of a problem. So always keep that in mind. You always want to bring in the lighting setup into your CG scene, so that in Houdini your light matches whatever other CG parts have been made. I hope that answered your question. I hope so. So, Real is asking, I'm interested, if you shoot on an Alexa, do you all get crappy, grainy green screen above 400 ISO? Yeah, so unfortunately, yes. Because the problem with the DOPs is that they tend to choose the ISO depending for the look of the film, and also depending on the lighting conditions, and also depends on the camera. For example, give an example. A Blackmagic camera, the native ISO is 800. And so, but it's very noisy, so I tend to film with 400. But having 400 ISO means you have to have a lot more light on set. So it's difficult for DOPs to film with low ISOs, because then they need a lot more light on set. So you have to understand that. It doesn't have to do with them being incompetent. It has to do with the fact of how many lights they can have on set, and also they're choosing the ISO to match the rest of the film. So if they filmed every shot with a 800 ISO, they of course are obviously going to shoot the green screen on 800 ISO as well, because they want the green screen to match the plate of all the other film. That's why, you know. So, okay. So that's all good. Let's see here what else. You guys are talking so much. Jesus. Talking so much. So Shin Peng is saying, I have the same problem as Sean. I'm a composer, but part of my job is dealing with prep. If I want to go to the film company like MPC or Mr. X or the Mill Film, it's very important to key the shot Do more details on the shot. Yes, if you want to work in a film company, you definitely want to get more keying, a lot more keying, a lot of green screen, and maybe Peng, because you are doing my nuke course on Kickstarter, drop me a line, because if you need some green screen footage, I can give you some green screen footage. You can get some green screen footage from the Leonard in slow motion shots, or from any of the personal shots in any of the short films that we're using on the course. You can use those plates on your showreel if you want to. So if you want to have some green screen shots, just let me know, and I can send you that. Okay, I'm going to answer you guys in a second. I know this is, unfortunately, this is the most boring Silent Hill playthrough ever done ever. I do apologize for that, because this game is astonishing. But because you guys keep talking and talking and talking and talking, I never get the game done. So as you can see, we're now inside a lovely, lovely house with probably less polygons than Jurassic Park. But as you can see, this game is so atmospheric. I really love this game. Actually, by the way, let me just check one thing here. If I can I switch the light bulb on already? I hope so, because I really like... Oh, I can't do it yet. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. I should be able to turn on the light, but okay, nothing special there. Let's see if I can find more stuff in my house here. I'll answer your questions in a second. I just want to kind of get a move on a little bit on the game. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever. Otherwise, we'll never get this game going. I should have already been like a lot further away on the game. But I guess this is the idea. Like, you guys, I really want to make sure I answer all the Q&A questions. Oh, sorry. Oh, there are 3 locks. Okay, I don't really have the locks. But I can get the map. That's for sure good. Okay, look at that. Keys for the eclipse, and something is written on the map hanging on the wall. Great. Copied to my map. That's great. So now I have it on my map as well. So I have a bunch of notes on my map, even more notes than I had before, which is great. So let's see here. So can I have... can I zoom into this thing? I hope I can. Yeah, there you go. So I can zoom in. Okay, so I have... Let's see here. Yeah. He didn't copy the stuff. Why did he... Something is written on the wall. Yeah, but he didn't copy the stuff. Why didn't he copy the stuff? Hanging on the map. Keys for the eclipse. They are inside Mattison's in Leavenworth Street and Finney Street. Okay. Okay, going back to the questions here. Sajal says... one amateur mistake I used to do back in the day, and then Alan also pointed out in a recent conversation, is that for daytime CG explosions, people have fire way too saturated. Yeah, that's true. Actually, fire should always be desaturated, because that's how fire looks like when you look at real fire. Real and old over... let's see here. So, yeah, you have some green screen. So MS Starks TV says, Charles, I always try to do as much work so comp and lighting have to worry less. Alan is right. On the opposite side, at night people forget how blown out pyro gets in the dark. Sean says, could I get some also, Hugo? Yeah, of course. You can drop me a line on Discord, of course. You guys are in the course. If you're in the course, remember that on our Kickstarter... one of the pledges, one of the stretch goals was to give you guys some footage for the showreel, so don't forget that. Offshot First says, which Kickstarter are you doing? I signed up to the horror, but it got canceled. Yes, it canceled because, unfortunately, I wasn't getting it funded, and a lot of people, so to answer your question, Offshot First, a lot of people want to do my nuke Kickstarter, my compositing nuke Kickstarter, and I'll show you what I mean. So back in the day, and this is what some people on the audience are talking about, I did a complete nuke course. I did it last September, and I still have a lot of students, and I'm going to do it again on the 5th of June. So this next week, So this is the course I'm talking about. So I will do this new course again, and it will be done next week. So on the 5th of June, I'm going to launch this new course again. It's a complete new course, by the way. So yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, Xi Peng, for the kind words. Thank you so much. Yeah, Sejels, that's the course I'm launching on the 5th. So you guys keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on my Twitch channel and keep an eye on my social media. And then as soon as it's on, I'll do it. Now, I need to ask you one thing, guys. Is this working for you guys? Because, of course, obviously, I'm experimenting a lot. This is the first time ever that I've made the Twitch stream where I'm actually playing a game. Is this something that is actually working for you guys? Because I know, obviously, I'm not playing the game as I should. I'm not playing the game in a very nice way. Should I continue doing these things? You guys enjoy the fact that I'm playing a game, and at the same time that I'm playing a game, you guys get to ask me questions. Do you enjoy that? Like, is that something that is working for you, or do you think I should skip the game and just basically only answer questions? Yeah, the game is getting very neglected, but I just want to really make sure no one is upset about this. Like, I know I was supposed to play the game more, but of course, obviously, with all these questions, I can't really play the game as much as I wanted to play the game, you know. But so, do you guys think I should keep doing this? Yeah. Okay. So, okay, people here saying good with me. People saying I enjoying this conversation. I don't really care about the game. This is funny and informative. Yes, I love it. Okay, cool. I'll continue doing it then, because my plan was to do two Twitch streams a week. One Twitch stream would basically be me playing a game, answering questions, and the other Twitch stream would be me doing a workshop in Nuke. So I think the plan would be that I really wanted to make something different, because for those of you that actually like video games, you can at least follow along on the game, and you can follow along on some of my favorite games. And also those of you that have questions, and these could be any question. You can ask me questions about show reels. You can ask me questions about my career. You can ask me questions about how is it on the industry. Just like keep going, you know. Like I think this could be a cool idea to do it once a week. But obviously, you guys are my followers. You guys are my my supporters and my subscribers. I will, of course, do anything that you guys prefer for me to do. So, yeah. Okay, cool. But I can see most people are enjoying this quite a lot. That's nice. I'm really, really, really happy with that. Silent Hill is amazing, yes. So, okay, so George is the only negative person here. George is actually saying that this is not working. So, George, you don't like this. Is that what you're saying? It doesn't work for you. So you actually don't think I should be doing this. Is that what you're saying, George? That I shouldn't do Q&A and games at the same time? You let me know what... could you like... Because I think George didn't like it. So, sorry, George. Most of the audience and most of the chat likes this. So you're going to have to live with it. Sorry, George. It's too late now, George. It's too late. You can't back off now. You just said you didn't like it, and now you suddenly like it? Keep changing your mind, George. It must be that beer. That beer is not working. So, how about this? An idea. Game judging, fire sticks in Q&A, shuffling cam cakes in camera. Now that would be cool. Yes. Well, I thought that if I would only do a Q&A, I don't think it would be that interesting. That's probably kind of why I'm doing this. But anyway, I'm going to try to do this... I'm really enjoying your... Yeah, thank you. By the way, 32-bit Flow, thank you so much for all the amazing comments you gave to the chat. It's been wonderful to have you here, because you've been giving really, really good professional tips to everyone. It's been wonderful. So thank you so much for that. And this is the dead end, of course. So I guess this is the dead end, so I need to kind of like... But there's something here that I need to look for, because there's something pointed on the map. I guess I just need to kind of find it. It must be here somewhere. Ah, go away. Go away. Leave me alone. Just fucking leave me alone. Why are you here? Oh, there you go. That's what I wanted. I want the key here. Ah, Jesus Christ. No. Okay, key of the scarecrow, so at least I have one key. And I want to get that guy there. Okay. And then I want to leave him alone. Yeah, look at that. Done. Cool, excellent. I've done it. I did it. Leave me alone. Fucking bird. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going up here. So going back to the questions here, and I've said I didn't like it. I said playing and Q&A do not work together. You cannot focus on the game totally. No, I know, but that's why I'm playing the game. That's why I'm playing a game that I played many, many, many times already. Because oh, that's weird. Why did it? Why is he just standing there? Look, this is a mistake. It's a glitch. Look, he's just standing there. Might as well kill him, I guess. Oh, what the hell? Why is he not flying? That's weird. What the hell is happening here? I just found a glitch. Look. He doesn't want to... That was weird as hell. I've never seen that before. That's new. This is really strange. Never seen that error before. Okay, cool. I'm gonna continue this. Well, we're almost out of time, though. Like I said many times to all of you, I don't want to do these streams longer than 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. So we already been streaming for 2 hours, so I think I'm gonna wrap up this very soon. So because I'm wrapping up this, I want to make sure you all ask questions. So just let me know if you have any questions. Go for it, okay? Oh, Jesus Christ, I fucking hate these things. You know what, man? I'm gonna just kill this thing because I can't stand it. I'm gonna just get some bullets here, and then I'm gonna just like shoot the bloody thing out of the sky. Ah. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay, yeah, that's dead. Done. Job done. Okay, so, and also don't forget, guys, that this is just like the first time I'm doing this, you know. Obviously, I'll get used to it, and I'll probably later on be more used to Q&A and also going through questions. If you guys notice, most people on Twitch that play games, they don't really answer all the questions. Okay, so I have 2 keys at least, so that's a good start. That means that I only missing 1 key for me to be able to open that door. And then I can actually go to the backyard of that house. So I only have 1 key left to go. But yeah. Offshot first says, I never had a PlayStation 1 and ended up playing every single game by split keyboard duties on Windows 98. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Do you have a logic process to solve a camera if you haven't got any camera information? So Offshot first, it's funny that you're asking about tips for tracking cameras since your name is called Offshot. So that is actually something that happens a lot. Like a lot of times, unfortunately, you don't get you don't get the lens information, you don't get cameras. So it would be something that you would kind of have to guess. It's usually normal. It's usually easy for you to guess what the lens was, but just by looking at the plate. And I think Chazelle's has a really good point here. 3D equalizer or Synthesize tends to be able to solve the camera even if you don't have a lot of information, and that's true. Like it's remarkable how good it is actually at doing that. So maybe try that. Try Synthesize or 3D equalizer. I think that's a really good advice, because not every time you'll be blessed with the lens distortion or even the actual information from the set. So you just have to be lucky, I guess. I'm usually lucky because I'm on set, so I make sure I shoot it and film it, but not everyone does that, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm gonna just check this out here. What else do I have here? Let's see here. So, okay, so, oh yeah, that's cool. So someone was playing basket with the head of a That's cool. That's nice. That's nice of them. So what is the fastest way to determine how much overscan you need? So for me, personally, the fastest... Oh, cool, I have the 3 keys now. The fastest way for you to get determine how much overscan you have usually is when you undistort the plate, or when you undistort the plate, it usually stretches the plate. And then, for example, in Nuke, you can see on the sides, you can see how much pixels you're stretching on the sides. And so usually it's like 50 or 100 pixels. That would be the way I would do it, using Nuke to undistort it and just checking how many pixels you need. That would be how I would do it. Can I get in here? Obviously not, because this is a video game. So I'm gonna just go back. I have the key now, so this is all sorted. I guess I have to learn 3D equalizer. Yeah, that's true. You might have to learn 3D equalizer, or you can hire someone that knows 3D equalizer. Kind of depends, you know, like, because, you know, like I said, if you don't know 3D equalizer, maybe you can partner with someone that knows 3D equalizer, and then the two of you can solve the shot, you know. So that tends to be a way of doing it. So, okay, so let's see here. Okay, I have to go this way. Oh, this is riveting, because I'm just like trying to find that house. Where the bloody hell is that house? Try not to curse that much. You know, trying to make a promise to myself not to curse too much. Ah, that thing again. No, go away. Go away. Leave me alone. I'm just trying to go somewhere. Leave me alone. Oh, Jesus Christ, he's not gonna leave me alone, is it? This game is so good, man. Fucker. He had to do it, didn't he? He had to do it. I'm on the correct street now, so I'm just like gonna go to the other side of the street and just go into the house because I don't want to have to deal with that bloody thing again. So the house is here. So bloody finally I got to the house. So Offshot says, I'm a student, I'm trying to make a reel, so I can't pay. Well, Offshot, first, if you're a student, are you a student inside a school? Is that what happens? Like, you're actually inside a school as a student? Because if you are a student on a school, what I would suggest to you would be partner with the CG artist that is also learning on the school. And so I always tell this to my students. If you are working as a student, try to group yourself with other students. Because, in fact, everyone in the industry is working in groups, you know. Everyone is working together with other people. If you go to a company, you would have a modeler, you have an animator, you have a rigger, you have like a lighting artist, you have all these people. So, yeah, you're at Scape, right? So that means you guys should get together, do a group shot, and then everyone has that shot for the showreel. Like, imagine if you get together with a 3D artist and another compositor. The 3D artist can maybe track the shot and do the CG. Then the compositors can do the compositing and rotoscoping. And that means all three of you could have an awesome shot on the showreel because you guys work together. And that's exactly how it works, you know, in the industry. So I would really say that's how you should do it, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna go and open this door because, yes, I've used the 2 keys. I have the 3 keys. Look at that. They are disappearing in front of us. Yay! It's unlocked. Yes, let's go for it. What? Oh, it's dark now. Oh, shit. Now we're all screwed. Now, this is my favorite part of the game because it gets really dark and the music really goes for it. This game, man... I can't believe how good this game is. Have you guys noticed that the 90s is the best decade of all times for creativity? And I have a theory, like me and my wife, we have a theory about this. We both agree on this theory that it happened because we all thought the world was going to end. So in 99 and 2000s, everyone thought the bug was going to destroy civilization, and everyone kind of thought that the world was going to end. So I think that was the driving force of so much creativity happening, because people were really rushing to try to finish things. If you think about it, Silent Hill came out in 99, The Matrix came out in 99, Pulp Fiction came out before the 2000s. You know, all the best games, all the best films, Resident Evil, all these things came out before the year 2000. Even albums, if you look at music, like if you look at Nirvana, if you look at Pearl Jam, if you like all these really great bands, all these great music, I really think it is about the fact that the 90s was the time that everyone thought the world was going to end. So everyone was like rushing to try to get there. I really think that, but maybe I'm wrong. Look at that. Now, here's what I really wanted to show you guys. Look at this. This is a game from 99, and it's a PlayStation 1, right? Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but I'm gonna just pull this up because you guys need to like PlayStation 1 specs, because you guys need to like look at this. I'm gonna put the specs up, okay? So you guys are gonna laugh your ass out, but look at this. So here's the specs for the PlayStation 1, okay? So PlayStation 1, we have a CPU of 33.9 megahertz. That's actually less, this is less than an Amiga, okay? So this is like, no, sorry, less than Amiga. It's more than an Amiga 500, but it's less than an Amiga. We had 1 mega of video RAM and 2 megas of RAM. That means the RAM of the machine was 2 megs. 2 megs. And then we could have 16 million colors. We could have 4,000 sprites. Only 360,000 polygons per second. And top resolution is 640 by 480 with 24 16-bit channels of PCM. So you see, this bloody thing did what you're seeing on the screen. Look at this. We have real-time lighting. We have real-time shaders. We have basically particle systems. We have high-resolution textures. We have a full working polygonal animation character, which in fact there's even a flare on screen. This is an achievement. You guys need to think about this. This thing that you're watching on screen was running on a 33.9 megahertz machine. It's nuts. Like, keep in mind your phone, the phone you have on your pocket is like 1,000 times faster than this thing. It just blows my mind how they managed to do this game. I just can't understand how this is even possible. So yeah, real time, it's really impressive. Look, the only thing missing, which only comes on Silent Hill 2, is shadows. As you notice, there's no shadows. And I think that would have been something impossible to do. Like, it's impossible for the PlayStation to actually handle real-time shadows. But I think it does an amazing job of trying to do lighting, at least. Such a stunning game. Let's see here. Can I actually go back to the house that I just came in? Oh yeah, I can. Good. So I think I'm gonna save. Because this is so good. Look at this. This is just beautiful. Look at that flare. Look at that flare. This is awesome. It's actually a really good flare for the time being. I mean, it's quite impressive. Yeah, I'm gonna save the game because I think we're gonna wrap up soon. So I just want to save the game and just go back to this thing. So, but yeah, you're right, Chazelle. Phones are much more powerful these days and have come a long way. Yeah, absolutely. 20 years, man. 20 years has come a long way for us to actually have real-time three-dimensional graphics. You know, this is one of the first 3D games, which is really impressive. Like a zip drive and mini discs were amazing when they came out. The music of this game is just stunning. Just hear this shit out. So good. Oh, wait a minute. I missed the exit. That's the exit. Okay, so now the shit is gonna get real now because, of course, obviously, I am now... Oh, look at this. Look at this beautiful thing. the game becomes alive when it's night. It just becomes stunning. And I would be worried about that. That's a big, big blood. Jesus Christ, what the hell happened here? Okay, so this is where the game gets really interesting. Just look at the floor. You guys see the floor? The polygons being lit up? This is really awesome. You can literally see the polygons being lit up one by one. It's so cool to see. This technology is amazing. I wish I could meet the people that made this game, man, because they are fucking geniuses making the game on a 32 megahertz machine. It's just nuts. It's just absolutely nuts. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Silent Hill was the first one that actually the camera moved, which was just absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah, you're right, MS Tarks TV. It's kind of crazy that you can see the vertex shading turn on and off. Yeah, it's because, like you said, remember, we only... I can finally go to the school. Remember, we only had... It only has 360,000 pixels, right? So, of course, you can see the voxels turning on and off because there's not enough memory to have more or less voxels. So you can kind of see them being lit up. It's amazing. Ah! God damn it! Leave me alone! So, where am I going? I'm going... yeah, I can continue down here. That's fine. Just continue down here. I guess I can just keep going. I wanted to go to the elementary school. Maybe let's try to get to the elementary school before I wrap up the stream. Now I'm really enjoying the game. Oh, sorry. Wait, whoops. Stopped there because there's something to pick up. So, you're absolutely right, Chazelles. For Windows or Linux, nuke, good powerful CPU, shitloads of RAM. Oh, you're asking that? When did you ask that? Yeah, I absolutely agree with you guys. You want to have a lot of RAM. I currently have 128 gigs of RAM, and I would never, ever recommend anything else. It is the shit. You can go away. Let's just get this going. Okay, so I'm now have to go that way. I think it's this way. Yeah, it is this way. I'm almost done on the school, so we can... leave me alone. No, just leave me be. Leave me be. No, 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 no. Okay, I'm gonna go to the school directly, because then we can wrap up the stream inside the school. The school should be here somewhere. Yeah, I'm almost at school. Okay, let's get going with this thing. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. The school's entrance is here somewhere as well. I need to find it. Here we go. So, that's the school. Finally, I got to the school. No, 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 no. Yes, I got in. That's cool. I am inside the school now. Yes. God damn it. Look at this beautiful thing. There's so many good frames on this game. Just look at it. I think I just noticed now that you guys are watching the game pretty washed out. I need to kind of like probably just change the default to... Yeah, that's better. I had the default not on Rexon Zone 9. Now it's on Rexon Zone 9. I actually also think now that we're nighttime, I think I have too much brightness on this thing. So I'm going to actually put it on default, which is 3. And I think that's going to look better. Yeah, much better now. Yeah, that's actually right. 40-bit float. Nuke is somehow like Nuke is not very good at multi-core, so I would already recommend to have a really fast speed for your machine. Man, this flare looks amazing. You guys need to understand this is 20 years old. So it's pretty impressive. Let's just get the map here. Hopefully... Okay, cool. So this is the school's map. I'm taking it in, yes. Hopefully I can find how to save, where to save. I can't remember anymore. It's been a while since I've been at the school here. So there's nothing here. Nothing here. Let's just get in and let's just try to save and then we can wrap up this thing. So hopefully the save point is here somewhere. Oh, this music is starting to creep me out. This thing, man. Gonna put a little bit higher the sound because it's so good. You deserve to. Okay, so I think if I remember correctly, I think it's on reception that I can save. I think so. Just have a look. Yeah, that's right. I can save on reception. So I'm gonna save here. Like, look at this. Like, I need to show you this. Like, just look. I turned the camera around. I shouldn't have done that. Let's try this again. So if I can do this way and then rotate. I can't rotate. That's a shame. I really wanted to do like. Oh, yeah, here you go. So just look at the resolution of this face. Just look at that. That's how good. It's literally a couple of pixels. If it's his hands almost don't have any polygons. It's amazing. So you guys are really having a big geeking out. So I missed this maybe, but I didn't notice anyone asking about specs. Did someone ask about specs on the chat? Because you guys are just starting to talk about specs all the way here. So I can't really, I don't see it. Yeah. So Sean, to answer you, should you have an SSD to run Nuke on one drive and then an M2 drive for caching? Yes, absolutely. I would recommend you to have an SSD to run the OS which have Nuke, and then I would recommend an M2 drive or even 2 M2 drives for the caching, and I would RAID 0 the 2 M2 drives. So if you RAID 0, if you basically do RAID 0 on 2 M2 drives, that would give you probably 3,000, 4,000 megs a sec. I would definitely do that, and then of course a massive hard drive for storage. That would be what I would say. Now remember, yes, not RAID. Oh, RAID 0. Sorry, you're right. that's my mistake. Now, when you get the HDD for storage, I would also recommend you to get a hybrid storage, because then you can get the speed of a SATA drive, 7,000 RPM, together with a little caching drive inside. So I would say that get 2 M2 drives and you'll get like almost 4,000 megs a sec. I would be honest, for a laptop for Nuke, if you like Mac OS, a MacBook Pro would be the best. Regarding Windows laptops, I wouldn't tell you. I'm sorry, because I don't really use Windows, so I don't know which would be the best. But I'm assuming there's some really good Dell laptops. There's some good HP laptops. I'm sure there's a bunch of them. Well, this looks nice. It's written in blood. I guess that's the cue for me to leave, right? So a place with song and sound, the silver guided post is untapped in lost tongues, awakening at the order. Okay. So, let's see here. So I'm gonna... Can I save? I hope I can save. No. It's written in blood. 10 o'clock. Alchemy Laboratory. Okay, I need to go to the Alchemy Laboratory, I guess. Gold in an old man palm, the future hidden in his fist. Exchange for sage water. So, this is the thing with Silent Hill. Silent Hill is filled with riddles and really strange things for you to kind of like find out how to solve. And it really drives me nuts, because sometimes it's so difficult to solve them. So hopefully it's not too difficult and we can actually solve this thing. I hope so. Okay, so there's something here. What is that? Okay, so I have, a picture of a door. I guess I don't know who drew it, but it's certainly not in bad taste. Okay. Yeah, well, I know what that is. There's a level that uses that. So, okay, this is some guns. That's good. Just gonna get some gun bullets. What else do we have here? I don't think we have anything else. No. So I can't save the game. Oh, come on, I really want to save the game. I guess I can't save it here. So I can't remember where to save the game in this specific level. So I went to the reception. Maybe, hopefully, I can save on the infirmary. I'm gonna try in the infirmary to see if I can save. Okay. Hopefully in here I can save. Otherwise, I don't want to like interrupt the game, because otherwise I'll have to like do all this again on the next stream. And oh yeah, here we go. We can save here. Excellent. I was a bit worried there for a moment. So is there any items that I need to pick up? I'm just gonna pick up some stuff here. Okay, health items. Okay, this is the silly thing on video games. Look at this. There's a huge amount of health items inside that box, but I can't get them because, hey, video games, I guess. Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap up because we've been going for 2 hours and a half. This is more than enough. Oh, there's another health item here. I'm just gonna get it. Okay, so what I need to be... Oh, Jesus Christ, video games. Have to be on the other side to actually pick it up. There you go. I'm going to just save the game here, and then we're going to wrap up this thing. So we played about 2 hours of the game, as you see there. I'm going to just wrap up the game by switching to the thing here. I need to switch on the lights because we have very dark mode thing here now. So I'm going to wrap up this stream then. First of all, I would just remind you all that if you really want to support the channel, please make sure, if you have Amazon Prime, don't forget that you can support my channel for free. That means you can use Amazon Prime to support the channel, and I get some income for the channel, and it really helps me to do more streams. If you don't have Amazon Prime, just consider supporting the channel. If you subscribe to the channel, you can really, you can watch all my old streams, and you really help me to do more. But anyway, I just wanted, before I go, I just wanted to thank everyone that was here. And I hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this a lot today. I hope you've enjoyed the fact that we did some gaming and some Q&A. If you guys like this, please let me know. Just let me know in the chat. If you guys liked this stream, I'll continue to do them. I will definitely be better next time so that I can answer more questions while we're playing the game. I really had a lot of fun doing this. I really enjoyed it. And don't forget that on Thursday, we are going to do the rest of the workshop. So Thursday and 2 days from now, we're going to continue the BBC workshop. So don't forget that next Thursday. So from now on, we're going to do streams on Mondays and Thursdays. That would be the dates. Every Monday and every Thursday. So thank you so much. And as always, I'm going to leave you... by the way, I'm going to leave you with something special here. So I'm going to quit the game, and because someone on the chat here really enjoyed Resident Evil's intro, I'm going to leave you guys with the Resident Evil's intro, because, hey, it's always amazing to watch this game. So I'm going to just, leave you with that. And that would be my... Let's just open the game here. So where's Resident Evil 1? Here we go. So here we have it. So I'm gonna just switch to the game here. Listen to this, because it's beautiful. Now this sound gives me goosebumps. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna leave you guys with a wonderful game, which is Resident Evil. Everyone loves it. So thank you so much for coming today. Thank you so much for a wonderful Q&A. And I'm gonna leave you with probably the worst intro of a video game ever made. So let's experience the wonderful acting on this video game, because it's probably the worst intro ever made. I wonder what happened. Yeah, I don't really know what happened. Resident Evil. Okay, so press any button. I'm just gonna go for it. Standard. Resident Evil. Let's watch this thing together. It's beautiful. So. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for coming. I'll leave you with the intro of Resident Evil. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission.
Found it?
No, I haven't found it yet. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
It was Bravo team's helicopter. Nobody was in it. But strangely, most of the equipment was still there. However, we soon discovered why.
Hey! Come here!
Joseph!
No! Don't go! Jill, run for that house!
There are only 3 STARS members left now. Captain Wesker, Jill, and myself. We don't know where Barry is.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.